This is Newsmax TV. I'm Ashley Martella. We're pleased to be joined again by Newsmax contributor Dick Morris. Hi, Dick.
Hey, good to be with you, Ashley.
Maybe you can clear something up for us. The latest generic congressional polls appear to be quite conflicting. The Gallup poll shows Republicans and Democrats in a tie. The Hill ran a story saying Democrats have wiped out a 10-point deficit from the week before. Yet an ABC News Washington Post poll shows Republicans up by 13, and every other poll on Real Clear Politics shows Republicans up by 5 to 12. How do you explain that discrepancy?
Well, since the Democrats have not discovered a cure for cancer in the last week, I doubt they wiped out a 10-point deficit. I think Gallup is just wrong. There are all kinds of ways to describe what's wrong with wrong polling. The most common is that there's a shift in party identification and that the polling firm waits for parties so that more people say they're Republicans because the country is moving Republican, and then some analyst looks at the data and says, oh, we got too many Republicans in our sample, so they weight them down and the Democrats up, and they distort their own findings. But there are so many ways to do a poll bad that it's hard to speculate on why. But take it from me, I've been looking at dozens and dozens of polls this week from races all over the country. The larger margins for the generic ballot are the right ones.
The September 14th primary. First, Delaware. Mike Castle, the well-financed, well-connected congressman and former governor, is being challenged by Tea Party favorite Christine O'Donnell. What do you predict there?
Well, it's hard to predict. O'Donnell's been coming on very strong, and she has a good point that Castle's record is sometimes too liberal, particularly on cap and trade. On the other hand, Castle has a good point, which is that this is a solidly Democratic state the Republicans normally would have no shot at, but because it's Castle, they have a chance at winning it. So I'm not going to make an endorsement in that primary. I do feel that the National Republican Senate Committee is making a big mistake in spending a lot of money on a negative ad savaging O'Donnell because, is it O'Donnell? Yeah, savaging O'Donnell, because she may end up being our candidate, and they're going to have to eat those words.
In New York State, Joe Diaguardi, Bruce Blakeman, and David Malpass are running for the Republican nomination to run against appointed Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Now, polls show Gillibrand with a huge lead over all three. Has New York become just too much of a blue state for a Republican to win statewide office there?
No, not at all. Gillibrand has failed to consolidate her incumbency. She should have been running ads during this period about what a great senator she's been, and she has not. And I think that Gillibrand can definitely be defeated. The issue in the Republican primary is, again, a close one. Malpass has the money. Diaguardi has the endorsement of the Conservative Party. And Diaguardi says that unless the Republicans and the Conservatives have the same nominee, they'll be splitting the vote. I don't particularly buy that argument because I think that people will cast strategic votes for whoever is the alternative to Gillibrand. But I think Diaguardi is a good candidate, and so is Malpass, and I look forward to backing whoever wins. I think that that will be one of the sleeper races of the fall, and I think you're going to see the good shot at defeating Gillibrand once the Republican primary is out of the way.
All right, some Senate general election races. Let's start with Nevada. Republican Sharon Angle still down, although within the margin of error to Harry Reid. And Rasmussen now has Reid at 50% support. What's going on there, and does Angle pull this out?
Yeah, Angle does pull this out. The last poll that I've seen, which was a few days ago, had it at 45-45. And then when you factored in leaners, it became 50-47 for Reid. I don't take leaners that seriously at this point in the election. They're probably people who've just heard of one name. I think that Angle is going to win. I think that Reid cannot get more than 45 or 46% of the vote. I think that that really is the cap for the Democrat. And I think Reid badly overreached when he accused Angle of wanting to privatize and phase out Social Security. I think that Reid got hurt badly in that exchange. The Americans for New Leadership, a group that I'm involved with, is currently raising money to put an ad on that I think will destroy Reid, that simply links him to the stimulus vote, the Obamacare, cap and trade, and the TARP bailout, and makes the point that Angle was against all of these. Reid is trying to say that Angle takes crazy positions on the issues, and this says on the issues that count, Reid is wrong. So I would urge people to go to that website and donate to help us run that advertisement.
California, RCP average Democrat Barbara Boxer up by 2.5 over Republican Carly Fiorina. What do you see trending there?
Well, Fiorina is up by 1 in the latest Rasmussen poll, and Boxer has never broken 50 in any of these polls. I think of the races for the Republican control of the Senate, California may be one of the tightest, but I think it's going to be a Republican victory ultimately.
Washington State, Republican challenger Dino Rossi apparently giving incumbent Democrat Patty Murray a run for her money. Where's that one going?
Well, far more than a run for her money, Ashley. The Rasmussen has Rossi up by 52 to 47. I think that Rossi is going to be a very strong candidate who I think is going to beat her.
Okay, many people are now predicting a Republican takeover of the House. Are you still going with your prognostication that they'll take back the Senate as well?
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to take the Senate. You have 4 definite seats in Delaware, Indiana, North Dakota, and Arkansas, where Blanche Lincoln is 40 points behind. Then you have Pennsylvania and Colorado, where the Republican is well ahead. That gives you 6 seats. In Nevada and Washington State and Illinois, the race is tending Republican. So that would give you 9 seats. And then you have California, where Boxer is under 50. You have Wisconsin, where they're tied at 46. And I think both of those are likely to be Republican. And then you have West Virginia, where the incumbent governor, who had gotten 70% of the vote, 70% job approval as governor, Joe Manchin, is down at 48% of the vote. And I think that Racey has a very good shot in that race. And then you have 2 races that are sleepers. The New York race, which we spoke about for Gillibrand, where I think she's in jeopardy, and Connecticut, where I think Linda McMahon has a chance to overtake Blumenthal. So I definitely see a Republican win in the Senate.
President Obama is in full-blown campaign mode, blaming Republicans and especially House Minority Leader John Boehner for anything and everything, most notably the financial fiasco, which he blames on the GOP. How does that play out in the campaign, Dick?
Well, he's trying to make Boehner the new Gingrich, as the Clinton people did in 1996. I don't think that that is nearly the case, and I don't think anyone much knows who Boehner is. The attempt to blame the Republicans after 2 years of the Obama presidency is absolutely laughable, and I think that Obama is just on the wrong track. It's interesting to note that not a single Democrat anywhere in the United States, including Harry Reid, is basing their campaign on a defense of Obama's policies. They're basing their campaigns on quotes they can get from a Democrat or issues they dig up that are not in play, like privatizing Social Security, and they are groping desperately for answers in each race. But none of them are defending Obama's agenda. In fact, nobody's defending it but Obama, and there's a reason for that.
And speaking of that, Obama now says Congress should let the Bush tax cuts for top income earners expire. If that happens, will that exacerbate our financial mess, and if so, how?
Yeah, I think it'll be very bad for the economy. 1 out of every $3 that's spent in the United States in consumer spending comes from the people whose taxes Obama would be increasing. So it's a tax on buying power in a sense, and you don't want to do that in the middle of a recession. Also, of course, the vast majority of the jobs are created by people who Obama would be taxing more heavily. And the fact that he's using that money not to reduce the deficit, which could be significant and could be important to the long-term health of the United States, but to pay for other tax cuts to other people, I think is a mistake, and I think that, that it's an economic mistake, but I think it's also a political mistake.
Dick Morris, as always, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.